are you, mate? Can you just talk to us about just the sort of last 24 hours, mate, and how you feel the group's handled everything?
Yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, obviously. Probably the past 48. We landed on Tuesday night, I think it was pretty late, and then yesterday we were in the hotel room until our COVID test came back, and then credit to everyone, they've pretty much packed up at the drop of a hat, and now we're over here and got to train last night in the MCG, which is pretty cool. And went and did some weights and gym today, so trying to get a bit of routine back at the end of the week before we play the Hawks on Saturday night. So it's a credit to everyone here that sort of got ready to go at the drop of a hat, and we're settled in here now.
How'd you go running around an empty MCG? Some of the boys never played there, but they haven't trained there either.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I've only done it once when it's been empty, so I think there was about 4 or 5 guys that have never played there, so it's pretty new experience for some of them. It was pretty cool as well. I think all the boys were just happy to get some fresh air, to be honest, get out of the hotel for a little bit, and having a kick and a catch, because hadn't really done a lot early in the week with playing on Sunday and then coming over here on Tuesday night, so it was nice to get out and move the body a bit.
Most athletes are creatures of habit, mate. They like routines and going through things that make them feel familiar and prepared. Do you get the sense at all that players, your teammates, are a little frustrated, or are they handling the distraction pretty well ahead of Saturday?
No, it was a little bit, not frustrating, it was just more the unknown of obviously preparing to come over here straight away and then being told we're not, and then, what do we do? And but credit to everyone, we hung around at the club together, and then as soon as they said it, when we had a set time, everyone was prepared to go, and obviously went home and packed straight away. So we've come over here and the boys are pretty up and about. There's nothing really in terms of frustration. We know we have to be flexible to keep the season going, and we had a short stint of it last year, and we saw a lot of the Melbourne clubs do it last year. So there's no reason why we wouldn't come over here and abide by what the AFL want to do, and we're happy we can continue the season and continue playing.
Thank you, buddy.
You're there, Rennie. You can jump in, mate.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Reece. Thanks, Rory. Rory, I think Tom Mitchell's been on a bit of a tear the last month, and the Hawks have been pretty solid as a result. Is he a player you perhaps look to lock down on, or do you even put your hand up and say, look, I'll go head-to-head with him? You've been in good form yourself.
Yeah, he's been playing some outstanding football. Obviously, high-quality player for a long time now. So we've had some guys in the past couple of weeks do a few jobs on, saw Harry Schoenberg go to Parish, and then Benny Keys played on Elliot Yeo a little bit on the weekend. So I'm sure at some point someone will look to put a bit of time into him, even if that's me at a certain amount of time throughout the game as well. So they've got a couple of players that are playing really well, and the Hawks are actually playing some really solid footy at the moment. So we have to prepare pretty well.
Just as well, small forwards, I think, as well. Obviously Luke Brown out's a big omission. He's such a great defender. Is that something you're conscious of as a team, to stop the influence of small forwards in the opposing forward line? Yeah,
they've got a few quality small forwards, and obviously Luke Bruce heads that, and I've had the pleasure of playing on him over the years, and really high quality player, super dangerous around goal and skillful, and he seems to just never drop in form. He's still playing at a really high level, so they've got a few blokes down there we have to be wary of.
And just finally from me, I know obviously at Brad Group you guys seem to have made some big improvements, but you're only a game and a half clear from North or bottom. Is that something you're wary of, avoiding the wooden spoon, or is it not really even spoken about?
No, we haven't spoken about that at all. It's more so improving on the form that we're in at the moment. Obviously, the last couple of weeks have been pretty disappointing in the results and haven't put 4 quarters of football together. So that's probably our first goal, or definitely is our first goal. And the rest of that, the actual results will take care of themselves.
Thanks, Rory. Good luck, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Jump in, Maxi.
Hey, Rory. A lot of boys that have in this hub life, in recent times, they've been taking PlayStations, they've been taking board games. I know you're a bit of a PlayStation man yourself. What have you taken over there, and how are you going to kill I'm assuming you have to spend the better part of 4 weeks over there.
Yeah, I didn't actually pack anything this time. I've packed the laptop, and we've got a few boys over here that are actually doing a uni course together, so a bit more responsible this time round. I packed it last trip in the Gold Coast, but fair few of the young boys bought them on the trip, and they're all carrying them around, protecting them on the plane and on the bus so it didn't get damaged. So a few boys bought some poker sets and some board games, and just stuff to actually get you out of your room. And obviously there's a fair bit of time actually in the hotel with the restrictions over here, so I dare say the guys will find a few things to do, but just a matter of actually spending a bit of time together and not going crazy, just sitting by yourself in your room.
Growing up, you're becoming a mature player in the group, are you?
Yeah, maybe, mate. It's taken me 10 years, but maybe showing a bit of sign of maturity.
Beautiful. I'll let someone else go. You there, Sim? You can fire away, mate.
Yeah, I'm just on, hey Rory, on Max's point before, I mean, you went away to the hub last year in Gold Coast, and you could actually go outside, go into the community. How's it going to be in this situation in lockdown Victoria in your hotel? How's that going to affect people? How do you see that affecting people?
Yeah, it's obviously quite different to what we had last year. We were able to go out a bit more and spend a bit more time outside. There's obviously a few tighter restrictions over here in terms of exercise. We're still permitted to go out, but certain things have to be done by yourself or the maximum with one other person. So I know the guys will all take their exercise time out, and it's handy that we are able to actually go out and train together. So main training days and stuff is a real positive. But as I was sort of saying to Max's question, there's things that people do around the hotel to keep them busy and occupied. It's just a matter of best using your time, and if you want to go out and actually get some exercise, best use that to actually get away, and whether that's with someone or without someone, just to sort of keep some sanity around the joint a little bit. So I'm sure guys will work through that, especially if we spend more time here. They'll be able to adjust to it a little bit better.
Has the playing group, have you got a goal of amount of wins you want to get before the end of the season? I know you said you're not thinking about the dangers of getting a second wooden spoon, but have you said, we want to win 2 more games for the rest of the season, or 3?
No, I haven't put any number on it, mate. We're pretty much, as I was sort of saying, just looking to improve on some of the form we had, and kind of what we're doing, especially the first half of the year. I think the last 2 weeks have been a little bit disappointing with the result and the way we've played. So, mate, we want to win every game possible, to be honest. So we'll look to do that against the Hawks this week. But as I was saying before, they're in some pretty red hot form. So we have to drastically improve on what we've done the last couple of weeks.
And finally, for me, do you think this for the last 5 games of the season's opportunity for some young players to get a good run in the side, or maybe try out some new positions to see how they go for 2022 and beyond?
Yeah, I think we've been pretty open to debutants and blooding some new players and trying a few different things even throughout last year and earlier this year. So I don't think anything would change in terms of that. You might see some players try a few different things, or if people are playing well and they come into the side, then as I sort of said, Nixie's been really happy with letting young players come in and play a role for us in the team. So I don't think that would change too much.
Can I just jump in with one quick low? Sorry, I know I've already gone. Rory, it's just Manny Crouch. There's reports emerging that potentially the club has offered him a deal. Can you just talk us through what kind of a teammate he's like and how much you'd like to have him around the club sort of long term? Yeah,
of course. I've been playing with Matty for a fair few years now, and he's obviously proved that he's a really high quality AFL midfielder and player. I'm close mates with him, and his skill set is really important to us. Obviously, he's played at a level of all Australian calibre, and I actually haven't heard that, so it'd be really nice if he was jumping on board with some of the other re-signings we've had this year. So fingers crossed, but I think throughout the playing group we just leave that to their players and their managers just to work through that. So I'd love if he stayed on. I think he's pretty keen to, so fingers crossed.
Amazing. Thanks for that, Lady.
No worries.
Jasper, you're on the call. Do you have any questions, mate?
Yeah, I'll just go quickly. Rory, I just want to get your thoughts on this kind of backline to midfield transition that a few of the players in the AFL have kind of gone through. Yourself, Cal Mills, Andy McGrath, Jack Chris, these kinds of guys. What do you think the traits are that you're kind of possess that makes that transition look really good when you do go into the midfield?
Yeah, it's a good question. The transition, initially, I tried it a few times over the years and it didn't really work. It was just a matter of actually spending a bit of time at training and with the coaches and working out what they wanted to, see out of me. And I was able to actually be gifted a bit of time in there and a bit of continuity. It wasn't sort of a pinch hit for one game and then back to the back line. I was actually able to practice and, get a feel and a flow for it. So I've been really lucky and I'm, super grateful that they've actually let me stay in there. And you learn a few things down at halfback, especially with the game in front of you. You can see where the ball's kind of going and being able to read the play, whereas in the midfield, you're going backwards and forwards. There's a fair bit of, stuff happening in 360 degrees. So I've been lucky enough to pick that up pretty well and, it's sort of working for me at the moment. So hopefully I can continue to improve on some certain areas of my midfield game. But I'll keep learning the position.
You've all been uber consistent kind of players. How have you personally been able to raise the floor of your performances to such a high standard that you're now averaging 30 touches a game and doing what you are on the footy field this year?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago I sort of worked out a routine that what worked for me in terms of training, and I realised, and a few of the young blokes realise at some point in their career, it's a holistic approach to football. It's not just going out and playing on the weekend. There's there's diet, there's recovery, there's extras in terms of massage, and there's things that certain players like and certain players don't like. And I figured out my routine a couple of years ago, and I found that my body and my mind were feeling really good, and I was actually able to go out and perform at a really high standard and play quality AFL football. So for me to be able to sort of work that out and sort of hone that over the years, I've been lucky enough to play at a consistent level for a short period of time now. So that's pretty much what I put it down to. And as I said, I'm still learning all the midfield stuff, so that's something that I can keep learning with as I go forward.
Cheers, mate.
No worries, mate.
Everybody got what they need?
I'm just jumping off one more, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah. You go, Sarah.
Hey, Letty, if you look at your numbers in the last couple of months from a team point of view, obviously they're not great reading, mate. What do you make of why things are going wrong in terms of 18th in scoring, 18th in points conceded, 18th in points conceded from turnovers? How do you put your finger on what's going wrong?
Yeah, I think it's just been, for a long period of time in the season, we had, quality performances. There was probably only the GWS game that was a bit of a blowout, and you could argue that nearly every game we were in, we're in a position to win. The last, couple of weeks and maybe even up to a month, we've sort of dropped away from that. And it's not just one area of the game, as you said. It starts at the contest, and you sort of saw on the weekend when we give them field position out of the middle, it makes them hard for us to move the football all the way down the field, especially against sides like West Coast. So we've addressed a few things in terms of how we're moving the ball and some of our contest stuff that will take us back to what we're doing early in the season and hopefully replicate some of the form that we're in, because when we're playing really high quality football against Melbourne and Geelong, some of these top sides in the competition, there's no reason why we can't do that for the rest of the season. And as I said before, some of the last couple of weeks have been a bit disappointing, but it's not going to surprise me if we change that round pretty quick.
Thanks, mate.
You got one, Sim?
Yeah, hey, Rory, so I'm just on Matt Crouch not about any contract stuff. Based on what you've seen at training, do you think if he comes back into the side, he won't be too underdone after not really playing any footy this year until last week?
Yeah, I know that Matt, since his surgery, he's put in a whole heap of work, and it's not just training. There's all this strength work that he's been doing in terms of rehabbing the injury that he had, and then he's been building up his loads, and to be able to go out and play, I think it was half game time, and pick up 28 touches and look really clean around the football, and bring that his weapons and what he does well around the football. Just shows the quality of player that he is, that he's able to do that after not playing football for nearly 12 months. So for him to, build up on the training track this week. I think he'll be speaking to the HBT and the doctors and all that just to see how he's pulled up, and then I think I'll leave that to the match committee to work out, the next steps for him. But it's a credit to him to come back and actually be in good nick.